In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college football games happening on December 27, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. East Carolina versus Coastal Carolina. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers play the East Carolina Pirates in the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl on Tuesday in Birmingham, Alabama at Protective Stadium. Coastal Carolina completed its regular season with 2 consecutive losses, with the most recent a 45-26 loss to Troy in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. East Carolina finished its regular season with a 49-46 victory over the Temple Owls, which snapped a 2-game losing streak. The East Carolina Pirates are 7-5 this season after they defeated Temple by a score of 49-46 in their last game. East Carolina allowed 575 total yards, but was able to force 1 turnover and 1 turnover on downs in the win. East Carolina finished the season losing 2 of their last 3 games, allowing at least 27 points in all 3 games. The East Carolina offense is averaging 31 points per game with 288.5 passing yards per game and 170.5 rushing yards per game. Holden Ahlers has thrown for 3,408 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions for the Pirates this season. Keaton Mitchell has rushed for 1,325 yards and 13 scores, while Isaiah Winstead has caught 82 passes for 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns for East Carolina. The East Carolina defense is giving up 27 points per game and 410.9 yards per game. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers are 9-3 this season after they lost to Troy in the Sun Belt title game by a score of 45-26 in their last game. Coastal Carolina outgained Troy by a total of 432-411, but turned the ball over 2 times in the loss. Coastal Carolina lost their final 2 games of the season, but they did start the season with a 9-1 record. The Coastal Carolina offense is averaging 29 points per game with 249 passing yards per game and 162 rushing yards per game. Grayson McCall has thrown for 2,633 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions for the Chanticleers this season. McCall has entered the transfer portal, but does plan to play in this game. C.J. Beasley has rushed for 704 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Sam Pinckney has caught 67 passes for 917 yards and 3 scores for Coastal Carolina. The Coastal Carolina defense is allowing 30 points per game and 412.6 yards per game. Coastal Carolina is 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games and 0-4 against the spread in their last 4th of December games. The over is 10-4 in Coastal Carolina's last 14 non-conference games. East Carolina is 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 non-conference games and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5th of December games. The over is 7-1 in East Carolina's last 8 games on turf. When East Carolina plays up to its ability, the Pirates are a tough team to beat, evidenced by victories over UCF and Brigham Young University this season. In addition, Coastal Carolina will be playing without former head coach Jamie Chadwell, who left to coach the Liberty Flames. Coastal Carolina has a weak defensive secondary that allowed an average of 281.7 yards per game through the air, which was 124th, and East Carolina has a very strong passing game behind quarterback Holden Ahlers, averaging 288.5 yards per game, which was 16th best in the country. Coastal Carolina has failed to cover the spread in 8 of the last 10 versus an opponent with a winning record, while East Carolina has covered the spread in 13 of its last 19 versus an opponent with a winning record. So the East Carolina Pirates to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Coastal Carolina and East Carolina both have very strong, talented quarterbacks. Coastal Carolina's Grayson McCall threw for 24 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions, while East Carolina's Holden Ahlers passed for 23 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions. The total has finished over in 10 of the last 14 non-conference games for Coastal Carolina, as well as in 5 of the last 6 games that East Carolina has played during the month of December. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma State versus Wisconsin. A pair of teams whose quarterbacks entered the transfer portal will square off in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl on Tuesday night when Oklahoma State faces Wisconsin. The Cowboys lost 4 of their final 5 games of the regular season after clinching their bowl eligibility with a 6-1 start to the season. Wisconsin went 4-3 under an interim coach after firing a head coach after the first 5 games of the season. Wisconsin comes into this game with a 6-6 record overall, and they have gone 5-7 against the spread. There have been a lot of changes since the end of the regular season, though, including a new coach for next season. Graham Mertz was the starting quarterback for Wisconsin this season, but he has now transferred off to Florida. Heading into this game, Chase Wolf and Miles Burkett are both sitting at number 1 on the depth chart, and it's unclear what player is going to get the start in this game. The Badgers are averaging 26.5 points, while their defense is giving up 21 points per game. On the other side of this matchup is Oklahoma State, who sits with a 7-5 record overall, and they have gone 6-6 against the spread. The Cowboys really struggled to close out the season, losing 2 games in a row. In the last game against West Virginia, the offense only managed 19 points, and they lost by 5 points. Quarterback Garrett Rangel completed 18 of his 42 passes for 178 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Ollie Gordon finished with 17 carries for 136 yards and a touchdown. Oklahoma State is averaging 32 points, while their defense is giving up 29 points per game. The Badgers are 2-7 against the spread versus a team with a winning record and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 in December. The under is 6-1 in Wisconsin's last 7 in December. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 bowl games and 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 neutral site games. Oklahoma State is 6-2 against the spread in the last 8 in December. The transfer portal has ravaged both of these squads, who will each have a new signal caller in this game. Multiple starters elsewhere on both sides of the ball will also not be participating in this matchup, which makes it quite a bit tougher to gauge. The Badgers struggled offensively all season even with their regular starters, so it's hard to envision them being able to do much with essentially a whole new offense. As is, they'll enter this game averaging just 26.5 points per game after ending the regular season with 3 straight outings of scoring 16 or fewer points. Oklahoma State will love hearing that, considering defense definitely hasn't been its strong suit. Offense, for the greater part of the season, has been another story though, and even without quarterback Spencer Sanders, the Cowboys should still be able to make some noise on that side of the ball. Besides, they haven't scored more than 20 points since October, so could it really get any worse? Neither team produced great against the spread results this season, but the Cowboys have a better record than the Badgers in that department in games away from home. This is shaping up to be an ugly game with not much separating these schools, and it's hard to know what to really expect from either with all the changes. So the Oklahoma State Cowboys to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both of these teams are solid defensively, and both had inconsistent offenses most of the season. These teams will also be forced to start unexperienced quarterbacks since Mertz and Sanders both entered the transfer portal. This should be a game where these teams focus on running the ball and try to let their defenses win the game. Neither team is likely to stretch the field much in the passing game with 2 unexperienced quarterbacks both facing solid defenses in this matchup. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.